What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. We're doing some glide repairs here today, and then in an hour from now, we're gonna switch over to our daily Patreon only stream, and we're gonna do some simming in Velocidrone combat mode. So, thanks for joining me. Glad I could hop on a little bit earlier here to cover for Mr. Snotty Bardwell. In the chat, RiseXR CFPV, Elise Lapalme, Mr. Tux, Frank Nicholas, Kaiser Soze, Bob Noxious, Corey Man, Northern Tier, Kristen Vloet, Cool Cat, Finn FPV, Lauren Rose, Micro Beast, Chibi Kaiju, EE Doc, Remy Tim, Splinter FPV, RC Ritter, Banshee Frenzy, EE Doc again, S Grace, Focus Point, and Airbender. What's up, friends? Ryzik says, what's going on? Ciotti came a little early, wanted to ask what could cause a build to end up wanting more D gains than P gains while tuning recently. To use D min while tuning recently. Space 2 space use D min and up the values. I'm not sure what that last bit means, but the first bit When you're using D-min and D-max, your D-max should almost always be, in my opinion at least, higher than your P-gain values. It's one of the beautiful things about D-max is that you can really make it aggressive and bank on the fact that it's only going to be the D values are only going to go up that high for a very short amount of time when they're absolutely needed, like in prop wash, for example. So yeah, I usually have my D max values at least 5 or 10 points above my P gain values, and then my D min values are usually in the 30 to 35 range. But D min does depend on how clean your rig is. So you got to be a little careful with the D-min values. And then for your D-gain advance and your D-gain D-min gain and D-min, Jesus. The advance and the gain down there in the bottom right corner, you want to jack those up to around 50. 50 and 50 is a really good value there. Those control how quickly and how early your D values raise from the minimum to the maximum. So by raising those two values up to 50 and 50, it just triggers that earlier and it raises quicker, so that as soon as the prop wash event starts, the D gain jumps up and just eats it. And yeah, if you look at any of my flight footage, you're not going to see much prop wash because I've been doing that trick for a long time. Banshee Frenzy says, what's up? Elise Lapalme says, I received my glide frame, but there is a lot of noise in the 0 to 60 hertz range. There should be. 0 to 60 hertz is where all of the actual motion of the quad occurs. So, I mean, unless you just take off and hover, that's kind of the only way that you're not going to see noise in the 0 to 60 hertz range. So yeah, that's what's going on there. That has nothing to do with the glide frame. It just has to do with flying. Like as soon as you start flying and moving around, all of that moving around is happening in the 0 to 60 hertz range. So the only way to eliminate that is to just hover, or just leave it on the ground, I guess. Airbender says, what's... And then he says up. Maniac says, what's up? Finally building Remix V2. I won off of you. Very cool. That was a while ago, Maniac. You're about as far behind as I am. Cheers. Halfboard says, what's up? Hope you're having a great day. Always miss the shout-outs. Looking forward to learning a bunch more from your stream today. I don't know how much I'm going to teach you today, Halfboard. We're just going to switch an antenna over here. Actually, no, you might learn a couple cool things. I'm going to show you guys how I prep my antennas, how I mount the antennas, and how I prevent UFL from... how UFL is more reliable and more durable than MMCX for me. So yeah, you will learn a bunch of stuff. Chibi says, did you see the new Blue Jay config startup to an editor? Nick Burns just had a sweet vid showing it. My BL Heli S rigs are happy. I have not, Chibi. I haven't. I don't have many BL Heli S rigs left, and I haven't used them in a while. So, but at some point I will. FinFPV says, can confirm your tune is actually impressive as F. Thanks, Finn. Yeah, my tune is pretty simple. I mean, Betaflight is so good nowadays that if you just turn the right things on and turn the wrong things off, and like, yeah, it's not... There's not a lot of magic in Betaflight. Hey, Turbo Shill time. This is my full-time job. I do need everybody's help to be able to continue doing this full-time. CiottiFPV.com has a million ways that you can help me. You can also click the thumbs up button down here, subscribe, click the bell, all that good stuff. Leave a comment. Yeah, CiottiFPV.com has a link to my Patreon page. On my Patreon hour-plus long stream last night rather, I covered my entire tune. Everything, top to bottom, is all in there. A lot of really good info from that. On the Patreon, I do make audio-only versions, which you can listen to as podcasts of the streams with really good info in them. So I will be converting last night's Patreon stream to audio-only, and I'll also do the same thing with my public stream from last night, because there was some really good info in there. So that's another really cool perk of Patreon. It's going to cost you $3 whole a month to get in on my Patreon, so it's 10 cents a day. You can do it. I know you can. I got a bunch of articles over on Patreon, how to filter tune simply, how to PID tune very simply, You're going to get daily live streams. You're going to get an email from Patreon every single day when I live stream for the patrons. You're going to get a ding over on Discord. You're also going to get a hit on my private Facebook group. So 3 different ways every day that you're going to get these Patreon streams. There's also a Fiverr page linked on my website. Over on Fiverr, I'm doing flight instruction and coaching. If you want to fly a little bit better, if you watch my edits and you think, wow, that guy flies pretty good, I want to fly like him, I can help with that. I have like a 10+ year history in autocross and track days, instructing at the racetrack, so I'm pretty good at coaching. And yeah, that's gonna sort of hopefully be the future for me is flight coaching. The better you fly, the better you feel typically, and having somebody that's over 4 years in break some stuff down that took them 1,000+ hours to figure out is a really good way to fly better faster. I'm also doing video editing over there and build planning. With micros, you got to select all the right parts for them to fly really well, so I can help you out with that. I've wasted tens of thousands of dollars on micro components, blowing them up, figuring out which ones suck and which ones are good, so I can help you not waste all that money. And then I'm also doing, what else am I doing over there? I don't know. I'm doing many things over there. Head on over, and you're going to love it. There's a Etsy store with a whole bunch of really cool stickers. This one is Clam Man.
諦めんなよ諦めんなお前どうしてそこでやめるんだそこでもう少し頑張ってみろよダメダメダメ諦めたら周りのことを思うよ応援してる人たちのことを思ってみろってあともうちょっとのところなんだから俺だってこのマイナス10度のところしじみが取れるって頑張ってんだよ絶対やってみろ必ず目標達成できるだからこそネバーギブアップ
So that's Clam Man. If you want a sticker of him, you got to go over to my Etsy store. And then Teespring. There's some cool t-shirts and stuff. And then there's a whole bunch of affiliate links. If you ever find yourself doing an order on Amazon, Oh My God's website, FPV Crate, Get FPV, FPV Cycle, and a couple others. If you hit my affiliate links before you do the order, you can still use a coupon code. You can still get free shipping. Nothing changes for you, but I make 1 to 6% off of your order, and it helps a ton. So what some people have been doing is replacing their bookmarks with my affiliate links. So yeah, just go to CiottiFPV.com, copy link, and then your bookmarks will be my affiliate links. Every single time you go to the website, my code will get dropped into your shopping cart, and I'll be your affiliate. So there you go. Joshua's allergy attack has come through the internet. Haveboard says, I always learned by just observing what you're doing. Sounds good, Haveboard. That was sort of what started the whole stream and everything, is just me wanting to take all the knowledge that I'd gained. And when I started this stream, I'd been into the hobby for 3 years, and I just wanted to like dump all the knowledge that I gained on as many people as possible. And then you awesome people said like, hey dude, make a Patreon, we want to support you. And I said, all right. And then you said, make some t-shirts, and you said, make some stickers, and you guys said all the awesome things, and here we are. Carolus Botros, Frank, thanks for dropping the link to CiottiFPV.com. Carolus Botros with a $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, Ciotti, your carbon fiber logo is cut. I'll contact you on Instagram. Not sending. Really weird noise. Not sending pictures of it, though. It's a surprise. Source 1 V3 AU mounting. Very cool, Carlos. Thanks for the support, brother. Super, super, super cool of you. Athix says, just spent 2 hours troubleshooting and repairing my Tramp HV to find out, thinking the VTX was bad. Turns out the cam died. Sounds like FPV, Athix. Abraham says, what's up? Long time. Good to have you back, Aber. Double A says, hello there. Hold on, let me go figure out what the hell the super strange noise was outside a minute ago. Be right back. You're not gonna get any audio. Just video. All right. Okay. Here's today's shirt. It's from Blip Shift. This is the face that the autocross cones used to make when they saw me beginning to start my run. Because much like FPV, where I crash a lot, in autocross, I used to hit cones a lot. Richard says, ugh, just broke the USB plug on my flight controller. Forgot that it was still plugged in when I picked up and ended up dropping it. Still flies, though. Just did 2 packs. That's the most annoying thing to break, Richard, because everything will be fine until a really fun new piece of flight software comes out, and then you're going to be pissed. Chris you can do most stuff in the OSD, though, so you can adjust a lot of things. Chris McGiffin says, what type of quad frame should I buy for my next 600 gram analog with GoPro Session 5-inch B? Chris, I talk constantly on this stream about the FPV Cycle Glide frame. I've tried most of the frames that are available, and it just keeps rising to the top as the best one. So that's definitely my suggestion, is the FPV Cycle Glide. The regular one, not the light, not the hammer, the one right in the middle with 5mm thick arms. That's definitely the one you want. I've been flying that frame for almost 2 years now, and there's just nothing better. Carlos Botra says, how can I mount the full-size AU on the Source One V3? What's an AU, Carlos? And I don't know anything about the Source One V3, unfortunately, so I'm not going to be a huge help. But if I at least know what an AU is, I can... Oh, air unit. Oh God, I have no idea, Carlos. You're asking me 2 things I have no experience with: air units and the Source One. So yeah, unfortunately, I can't help. Sorry, brother. Mr. Tuck says, chat, can formal coding a Tarsier? Just leave out the ribbon cable plugs and the USB buttons, of course. And you got to be really careful around the USB port, or not USB, the SD card area. But yeah, I think the rest of what you're saying there, you should be good to go. All right, I need to. I'm flying after this. Well, I'm going to try to fly after this stream, and I don't have anything working, so I need to do a little bit of work here to at least get one rig going. So let's do that. I think that I broke the antenna on this rig, so I'm gonna take a guess and replace the antenna. And if that's not the actual problem, I'm gonna be kind of screwed. But I do have the budget rig, which still works. So I haven't flown that thing in a while because I've been trying to. That has all different gear on it from my regular rigs. So I've been trying to not fly it and just fly these, my clone, like same top to bottom glide rigs to try to get my muscle memory back and actually fly half decent for a change. So yeah, it's good to have it as a backup plan, but I would love to get this thing back up and running here before I head out after our Patreon only Velocidrone combat mode stream. So let me see what I can do. Let me try to kind of rush through this. Oh my God. I am gonna miss chat comments. I will never ever ever miss super chat comments. So if you absolutely have to have me read what you're writing, you're gonna want to do a super chat today, because I'm gonna sort of be head down trying to get this thing knocked out. So, you've been warned, I guess. Alright, and so let's go full speed ahead. This is, I don't usually work fast like this. I usually kind of specifically try to chill out and work slowly so that I don't make mistakes and forget stuff, and so that I can kind of keep caught up on chat. But I just don't have the time today. I want to try to get out and fly, and I also want to try to get the Velocidrone stream in with the patrons, with the lads. So yeah, you guys are going to get to see me in fast forward today, which should be strange, but interesting. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just break everything. That's one of the other reasons I try to work in fast forward mode, is because that's when a lot of the mistakes happen. Either when you're in fast forward or when you're inebriated, typically, in my experience. All right, so what I just cut off is the biggest thing that helps with having the UFLs be durable. And what's interesting is that UFL just popped right off. So I guess there's a chance that the UFL had come unplugged. Shit. I wish I had seen. Man, I wish I had seen whether or not that was unplugged or not. Alright, well, I'm gonna test this. Now that this is plugged in, I'm gonna take this thing outside, put a battery on it, and then I'm gonna put my goggles on and see. That might have been a really fast repair. But I gotta put some distance between me and it. Because up close, it's performing totally fine. So, here. Just gonna put this on real quick. And run this thing outside. Because I would love it if that was all that was wrong with it, because then I can try to get a second rig fixed. So here, hold on. I'll be right back. Here's some random bad flying. I think that might have been it. I put it outside a flight of stairs down, and it seems totally fine. So yeah, I don't know. Empty Head says, I wish you'd live stream flying. What, out of curiosity, what would me live streaming flying, what would that provide that me just playing the actual good quality GoPro like I just did? Like, what would be the difference there between those two, right? Like, what's the draw of live stream flying out of curiosity? I do plan on doing it, but I'm sort of more just curious than anything else. I'm gonna take a chance, and I'm just gonna slam this thing back together. I hope that it's okay. because if I have to rip this apart again, I'm not going to be super happy. One of the things about the live stream flying is going to be that, like, I'm not going to be able to, there's not going to be a way to get audio into it. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm a little curious. It's just going to be, you're going to get static for audio. And you're going to get DVR. So the quality is going to be pretty garbage. And then also YouTube is going to destroy the, you know what? I didn't even think about that. YouTube is going to really hammer the quality. In the same way that when I play DVR on here, you guys say in the chat that you pretty much can't see anything. That's going to be the entire live stream. If I live stream DVR. I'm going to do hot glue because I need this to dry right away. Normally I would use welder, but that takes overnight to dry. Let me show you guys a really cool oh boy. Sorry guys. James Vaughton with a $15 super chat. He says, recommendations for replacement of Nachi Flywoo Robo 1507 2900s for a 310 gram with no battery, 3-inch Cinewoop. I've been doing 6S on this, but could also do 4S. Brother Hobby 2004 look good, but not sure what KV. James' best bet in terms of KV is to always get the highest KV, and then in Betaflight you can just motor limit down if that's too high of a KV. Brother Hobby 2004s are my favorite motors on the Cinewoops. They're beautiful on this Cinesplorer. You can also do Bob Ruge FPV Cycles 2203/4. They used to be 2203s, now they're 2204s. And yeah, just get the highest KV and then motor limit it down. But yeah, either one of those will work. Brother Hobby 2004 in the highest KV they offer, or the FPV Cycle. So here's how I like to do hot glue so that I don't have to use the hot glue gun. Just use a lighter. Get a corner. I can't talk. I'll talk out of the side of my mouth. Get a corner nice and hot and kind of molten, and then just push it into where you need your hot glue. And it'll kind of stick. It'll kind of stick to the thing there, and then you just pull it away, and it'll make a little bit of a mess, but it's not too bad. Careful with the little stringer that sometimes gets created. Make sure that doesn't like get in your motors or anything annoying. And there you go. Now you got a blob of hot glue, and you didn't have to get a hot glue gun out. James, I also, by getting the highest KV, the other reason why I'm going to recommend that is that there's really not much, if any, benefit to running 6S on micros. They just don't pull enough amps to really justify it, and 6S is really hard on the microelectronics. So for me, I've had much better luck running 4S on micros. It seems to allow the electronics to last a lot longer. And yeah, there's really no difference in efficiency in my experience. I've seen a lot of people that fly 6S for the first time on a micro and say, "Oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever." But I've yet to see anybody who's actually like back-to-backed it or really has spent a bunch of time, enough time to see the degradation of the. Typically, it's the ESCs that blow up while running 6S. The tiny little ESCs have a lot less capacitors on them, and that makes them a lot less able to handle back spikes of current and all kinds of other stuff. So yeah, I've found 4S really to be the best bet for micros kind of across the board. And luckily those Brother Hobby 2004s come in, I think it's 3500 kV, which is enough kV that you should be able to get plenty of power with that rig on 4S. So now we've got the UFL hot glued down, so it shouldn't move. And now we're just going to shrink this shrink wrap down with our little gas station special tiny torch, which I highly recommend you get. This is my favorite little way of shrinking shrink wrap. And then we're just going to throw a little piece of VHB on the bottom and move on to the next glide. I can't believe it's not even 3:30 yet, and I'm already through this repair pretty much. Go figure. When I put my head down and work as fast as I can get a bunch of stuff done. Little trick with the Immersion RC Tramp, because it does have a plug header, so the bottom of the Immersion RC Tramp is flat, but then there's a little plug header that sticks up like this. So here on this flat part, take your VHB, cut twice as much as you need, and fold it over. And by folding it over, it's going to be twice as tall, right? So cut twice as much as you need, and then fold it. And now you've got a thicker piece of VHB to take up that little bit of a gap. And you could even do a second one of these if you really want to make sure that that plug header doesn't hit the deck, which is, yeah, you know, I'm actually going to do that because this is the Ultra Basher rig. So let me be nice to it and just make absolutely sure, because I have broken that plug header once on a glide from it just smacking into the ground because I didn't do this. I didn't double it up. I only did the single double thick VHB. They also sell, I mean, technically speaking, you can buy thicker, you can buy VHB with thicker foam. Ryzex with a $10 super chat. Thanks, brother. He says, hey man, didn't know if you got to my question. Kid came running up with a bloody shirt. Small cut, but he's okay. Had a question about more D gain and P gain. What mechanically causes this? Ryzex, it was the very first thing I did on the stream. So just use the YouTube's DVR function. Rewind all the way back. I said hello at the beginning of this. I played some footage at the beginning of the stream. I said hello. I called out everybody's names, and then I went directly to your question and answered your question first thing. So you got an answer waiting for you back there. Tag me again if you have any follow-up questions, and yeah, I'll help you out. Thanks for the super chat, brother. Super cool of you. All right, so let's just get that guy there, and got this smaller one here. Okay. All right, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't be the thing that slows me down, VHB. Okay, and then we're gonna stick this one right in the middle here. All right, so now we got double thick VHB. What you want to remember about VHB is that it kind of squishes as it gets old. You know what I mean? Like it loses its thickness, I guess you could say. Shit. You know what? I didn't want to put it there. I need to peel this off, actually. I need to put it farther forward. I forgot yeah, I just forgot. There we go. I forgot where the little tie down is that I put on the damn thing. The tie down is a little bit farther forward. That's what happens when you're in a rush. It's okay though. All better. Alright, big old chunk of VHB, and then we've got our Crossfire Nano. We're going to just drop down on top here. And then our little crap strap, 3D printed wrap strap thing. Alright, let's get that under there. And I'm knocking things over. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. And just like that, in theory, this rig is good to go again. I hope that that was the problem. I hope that that coming unplugged was the issue. There's a semi-decent chance that it wasn't, but I would rather find out. I would rather do a quick repair like that and find out, because this was flyable. It was just when I would go behind buildings and stuff, it would. I mean, they weren't even big buildings. It was like horse stables that I went behind, which are not much of a, which don't really provide that much signal blockage. That's when I would lose video. All right. And here we go. All right, Ultra Basher Glide, good to go. Let's get a couple of these cranked down. I am actually going to check the arm bolts when I'm done with this top plate, just as a good little precautionary kind of thing. There you are.
I needed to wake up.
Yeah, I took when I got like a minute into the shower, I was like, oh, I'm alive again.
Yeah, I needed to just walk around and wake up.
I was trying to be as quiet as I could at the beginning of the stream to not wake you up.
I wasn't really sleeping. Children screaming, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. If I had time, I would also check these motors since the propellers are off of them. But I'm in a hurry, so I'm not going to do that. Let's check our arm bolts here. If you're going to check anything, checking your arm bolts is the best thing to check. That one's good. That one's good. That one is ground down enough that I can't get the thing in there, and that one's good, so we're cool. Basher Glide, good-ish to go, maybe, hopefully. Give it a little bit more camera angle, and let me throw 3 out of 4 propellers on it, just so that it's somewhat ready. James Vaughton with a $5 super chat. Thank you, James. Super kind of you. He says, that makes sense. Brother Hobby, VY or Avenger? Avenger is a few bucks cheaper. Also, do you think these are quieter than the FPV cycle equivalent? So the noise level doesn't really have anything to do with the motors themselves. The noise level has to do with the amount of thrust that's being produced. So the good news with that is at the same all-up weight, or at least at a similar all-up weight, the noise level is going to be no different, right? Because there's a, you know, if the rig is 600 grams all up, it's going to require 600 grams to hover. And then at 10 miles an hour forward flight, it's going to require, I don't know, 700 grams of thrust. You know what I'm saying? So motors have really nothing to do with noise until you go full throttle. A more powerful motor is going to be able to move more air, and moving air is where sound waves come from, right? So moving air is what's going to then produce the sound. So a more powerful motor at full throttle will always be louder because it can move more air. But yeah, other than that, and with a Cinewhoop, typically you're not full throttle. So with a Cinewhoop, the noise level is usually always about the same. The big way to reduce noise is to switch over, if you're not already, to the GemFan 5-blade props. I've tested pretty much all the Cinewhoop props now, and the GemFan 5 blades are just as quiet as the HQ 8 and 6 blades. They're lighter than the HQ 8 blades, and they make more thrust than the HQ 5 or 6 blades, whatever the hell they are. So they're really the where you want to be. Front right is wrong. Good spot. How the hell is that possible? Did I not have smoke-colored props in the front only? What in the world? That's very strange. That I had a mix. Oh, okay. I ran out of these 5143s. Good spot, guys. I can't believe you guys can see that through the terrible quality stream. Although my OBS screen is really small, so I can't really see much of anything. All right. The power of the collective right there. You can join us for only $3 a month over on CiottiFPV.com. And then there's a link to the Patreon page. This antenna just got completely obliterated. So this one I really should change. And then this rig, I think the VTX shit the bed on. Oh man, this one's been sitting here needing repair for so long that I don't really remember what was going on with it. Fuck. Well. Oh yeah, this one's wrecked. Yeah. So this antenna's totally shot to shit. What time is it? 3:38. Let's keep going. What's up, Espander? Ryzek says, those Apex builds, are they only going to be given away on the $30 tier of Patreon, or am I good to post my FPV exchange listings being in the 5-inch tier? So I'm going to talk about the FPV exchange giveaway rigs on tomorrow night's giveaway stream. The giveaway is going to be done, I think, Tuesday, but tomorrow night I'm going to go over the rules. They are only going to be for the $30 and up tiers, though, as a thank you for the folks that really go the extra mile to support the living shit out of me. So, yeah, there's that, which should be good. So yeah, there's actually going to be the regular 4 giveaways tomorrow night, and then there's going to be another giveaway on Tuesday, I think, is basically how it's going to work. So yeah, you'll have a day after I explain the rules to jump on, and it'll take all of about 3 seconds to get onto FPV Exchange, import a bunch of your stuff, and click a few buttons to sell them. So yeah, I'm not asking you guys to do more than like a couple minutes of work, and also you don't need to like jump on it now or anything like that. You'll have plenty of time between Monday and Tuesday, because Nevin just made it so easy for you guys to well, for all of us to sell stuff on his site, fpvexchange.com. So yeah, for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, I'm turning 40 in 6 days, and to celebrate that, I'm giving a ton of stuff away for free this month. Over on Patreon, I do giveaways every other week. Four giveaways every other week, and typically those giveaways are like $50 to $100 worth of stuff, but I have accumulated some like full builds that I'm going to be giving away this month to celebrate becoming a little older. So in the $5 a month tier, there's going to be a giveaway on the tomorrow. On the $10 tier, there's going to be a full build giveaway. I only said giveaway a second ago. On the $5 tier tomorrow night, there's going to be a full build giveaway. On the $10 tier, there's going to be a full build giveaway. On the $20 tier, there's going to be a frame giveaway. But then on Tuesday, for the $30 tier people, there's going to be another giveaway, and it's a full build minus the camera and the receiver, because I have no way of knowing what, if you guys are on Crossfire or Tracer or Ghost or FR Sky, and I also don't know if you guys are on analog or digital. But FPV Exchange sent over 3 full builds, 1 Prototype 5 and 2 Apexes with T-Motor F40 Pro 4 motors, premium 2306s. And Acon AK32 ESC, which is the only ESC that I've run in the last 2 years, and Acon F7 30x30 flight controller. So like super high-end premium builds. Basically, these builds are what I fly. Like, it's all the gear that I fly. Nevin hired me over on Fiverr to do some build planning with him, and to build a couple of his rigs, and then he used that build planning advice that I gave him to spec out these 3 builds that he then sent to me for these giveaways. So yeah, I mean, how many reasons do you need to support the dude? He's hooking all of us up, and me most of all, because he believes in what I'm doing, and he's a super cool fella. So yeah, get on over to FPV Exchange and show the guy some love. And if you want to get in to win one of these 3, like $300+ rigs, right? It's going to cost you $30 whole, and then you're going to love all the other stuff going on Patreon. I'll bet. So let's dig into this guy, see how quick we can swap out this antenna, and then we'll jump over to the Velocidrone Patreon only stream. Word FPV says 75 millimeters with the Go 2 on it. Your thoughts? That's my plan, Word FPV. I still need to find the right motor and setup for my 75 millimeter, for my Cockroach 75 builds. Probably going to be diving into that this week. Whoop Wednesday. This Wednesday we'll be testing 0802 motors on 65 millimeter whoops, and then as soon as that's done, we'll be testing 1102s and 1103s and 0803s on my 75 millimeter Insta360 Go carrying rig. So yeah, I don't know quite yet for certain, but more info to come. If you want to keep up with everything that I'm doing and get daily notifications when it's all going on, head on over to CiottiFPV.com and join my Patreon for $3 whole, and you'll get email notifications, you'll get Discord notifications, and you'll get Facebook notifications every single time I stream. Let's see if I repaired the threads. Yeah, now we're good. Okay, cool. Threads repaired. Let's swap this antenna out here, and then we can jump into combat mode and shoot each other in our faces. Okay. Wait, no, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that. Okay. Pull this out of the way. Get this guy off of here. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I mean, this antenna is just ruined, so I'm just gonna cut it. I also need to cut this little zip tie off here, and okay. So I guess there's a chance that I could maybe slide this shrink wrap off here. No, not gonna happen. Let's just cut it off and be done with it. Alright, so now we're going to talk a little bit about prepping UFL antennas so that they last a little bit longer. Both the head of the antenna and the actual UFL connection. And if you follow what I do here, you're going to have a more durable experience than you would with MMCX. The big problem with MMCX is that when it breaks off inside of the VTX, you can't get it out, and you have to replace the entire VTX. Whereas with UFL antennas, if you rip the UFL off of the antenna, the VTX is typically fine, and you just need to replace the antenna. And the heads of the antennas get so beat up that it kind of makes sense to have the antenna be the failure point. The VTXs will usually last years, and if you fly hard, the head of the antenna will get smacked to the point where the internals come out of alignment long before the VTX explodes. So the first thing to do is to locate the seam on the head of the antenna the seam is where the top part of the plastic is glued to the bottom part of the plastic. So that seam is usually on the top corner, or sometimes it's on the bottom corner. On these True RC Singularities, which are my favorite antenna, the seam is up on the top here. So we want to put a piece of shrink wrap around that seam so that when this thing gets smacked and smashed, the head of the antenna doesn't just pop off, because that's a really good way to kill it. So I'm going to use shrink wrap that's a little bit too small, and I'm going to put it in my needle nose pliers and just stretch it out a little bit. This is a way to really make sure that the shrink wrap pulls really hard into the top of the antenna. So just stretch it out a little bit, and then if you're quick, you should be able to sneak it over the head of the antenna. What you want to remember is that when you stretch it, it stretches, but then as soon as you take it out of the pliers, it'll start to return to its regular shape. So there you go. It wouldn't fit a second ago. Now it will fit, and we're just going to hit it with a little bit of torchage and shrink it down. And now, when you stretch them like that, you got to be careful. If you shrink it down a little bit too hard, it'll rip. But that's okay. We'll just do it one more time. And is this that same size? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. So let's try that again. Stretch it out ever so slightly, just gentle, 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 and make sure you stretch it like this, and then you rotate it, because it's only the part that the jaws are touching is not actually going to stretch. So just rotate it, stretch it, rotate it, stretch it, and then quickly take it out of there, slide it over the head of the antenna, and let's try that again. This also gives the shrink wrap is kind of rubbery, right? So you can also do it with a lighter. Yeah, the rubberiness is going to help when the thing hits the ground. You know what I mean? So it's not plastic into concrete. All right, so there we go. Lighter is a little bit more gentle. It's a little bit lower of a heat. So there we go. Now the head of the antenna is prepped. The other thing that we want to do with these little guys that I use is put another piece of True RC is putting shrink wrap here from the factory, which is great, and they're also putting another piece here just to kind of beef up the UFL itself, and that's awesome. Not all the manufacturers do that, so make sure that there's a little piece of shrink wrap between the head of the antenna and the UFL wire itself. This just makes the connection point between these two ever so slightly stronger, so it doesn't bend really hard there, and also so that hopefully the head doesn't get ripped clean off. But now we want to grab a piece of, this is just like my scrap bits of wow, words have just betrayed me. Scrap extra shrink wrap, because I can't throw anything away, because I'm an actual crazy person. Let's use this little guy. This should be good. No, I want to use a little bit smaller. I'll go in the kit. Scott Gillen with a $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, where can I buy an antenna mount for the Glide TPU? I think it's 25mm spacing. Scott, here, you can't really buy them, but here's a couple on Thingiverse. Here's the one that's on this rig you're looking at right now. And then here's another option. This second one I actually really like. I really like that one. If anybody is desperate to 3D print their buddy CiottiFPV something, I would love a couple of each of those in red, violet, and or purple TPU. That would be super amazing. No pressure though. No pressure. Okay, here we go. This is going to be the perfect little piece of shrink wrap for this. So what you want to remember with this is you got to put it on first. I always forget to put this on, and this is just to shrink this guy down. I'll show you once it's done. So we're gonna get this up and out of the way, and then we're gonna well, actually, no. Let's take care of this guy first. Let's take care of the VTX first, and then we'll put it into the into the little TPU piece next. So I'm just gonna pre-bend this UFL, and we're gonna snap it on, and then we're gonna use the same trick with hot glue. Again, using welder is gonna be a better idea here, but I'm trying to fly these rigs this afternoon. So I'm gonna go the cheap and easy, not cheap, but the quick drying route, I should say, which is hot glue. The reason why welder is better than hot glue is that hot glue has a lower melting point, right? Thus it being called hot glue. And the VTXs can get pretty hot. So yeah, welder is technically a better choice, but hot glue tends to work just fine. So we're just gonna heat the hot glue stick up on the corner here, and then we're just gonna push it onto the corner of the UFL. Give it a second, and then yank it. And now we got a nice little blob there, and I'm done with this hot glue for the day. Put it over there. So now we're gonna throw some shrink wrap on this guy. I did have that perfect piece. I think I put it away. Is that it? I thought it was a little bit longer than that. No, this is fine. Okay. So now we're just gonna throw this guy on here, shrink it on down. Try to make sure that hot glue isn't still molten. It's fucking molten. Come on, come on, come on. Get in there. Get on there. Come on. Come on, come on. Come. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. All right, and I just use this shrink wrap to further pull the UFL down. It doesn't work as good as the hot glue because it's kind of pulling down from the sides, but it still does work. It is still nice to have a piece of shrink wrap pulling on the UFL. It's definitely worth it to do this extra little step. Alright. There we go. Got that heat on it in the last second there. And now, here's another little trick. I already have VHB down there, but it's starting to get a little bit dirty. Just brush some of like the grass chunks off of it, and then hit it with a little bit of heat. And usually the heat will kind of bring the stickiness of the VHB back to life a little bit. So just get any big chunks that you can off of it, and get the torch on there, and you'll see it. You'll see it kind of like get a little bit shiny, and there you have it. Always remember that adhesive, the reaction with adhesive works with pressure, so get some pressure on it. And now, with this antenna here, you see why we put that bend in it, right? And now you also see how it works here with sitting into this TPU piece. And I just noticed that this TPU piece has a little crack in it, so we're gonna repair it yet again with the torch. Just very gently. Very, very gentle with the torch on this TPU because it's kind of thin. Just to kind of rebond these layers back together. When TPU is printed, it's printed with heat. So there's no reason that we can't just put heat back into it to repair it. You just got to do it very carefully. And now I really need it to cool down. Although, let me hit it one more time. What's that look like? I can't see. All right. How's that doing? Feeling pretty good. All right, should be all right to move forward. So we just kind of slot this guy in here. And you just got to make sure you give it enough antenna to where it's not pulling on the VTX. So just sneak it on in there. Make sure that there's a nice little bend. And just push it into the little cradle there. And now we're going to take this shrink wrap piece and slide it down and over the TPU there. See that? That's why we had to put that shrink wrap on there earlier. And now that's going to both help the TPU, right? It's going to make the TPU a little bit stronger, but it's also going to hold the UFL in there so that when you're crashing through trees and branches are coming like this, eventually a branch is going to catch the head of this and it's going to pull it, and you want it to be pulling on this TPU rather than pulling on the head of the UFL. That's a big part of making sure that this stays sturdy and strong and durable. A little bit of lighter love just to keep the temperatures down a little bit. And then the last thing that we're going to do is throw a zip tie on here. But I want to give this time to cool down before I do that. So let me give this a chance to cool off. And then we're going to put a zip tie here to, again, even further clamp the TPU down to the UFL wire to just make sure that all the strength is from right here. And it's never going to pull on that. Wow, this VHB on the bottom of this Crossfire Nano is very dirty. In need of some love for sure. Get some of the big shit knocked off here. And all right, cool. Let me, I gotta do something real quick over here. Frank Nicholas with a link to the cordless hot glue gun. If anybody's interested, there you go. I prefer using a lighter. All right. And just gotta come over here and edit. All right. Okay. Alright, just had to get that taken care of. Word FPV says, do you prefer 3-blade or 4-blade on 75mm? 4-blade, just because the main issue with Tiny Whoops is a lack of thrust. So a 4-blade is no matter what going to give more thrust than a 3-blade. They're never going to be all that efficient anyway, so like I just kind of throw any hope of efficiency right out the window. Alright. Got that VHB a little bit hot on there in hopes of bringing back some of its stickiness. And yeah, we're good to go. Cool, so we're going to come in here with our crap strap, which is also available on Thingiverse. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, now that's all held down, I'm going to grab a tiny little zip tie for the UFL. And away we will go. We'll move on over to our daily Patreon stream where we're going to be playing some Velocidrone combat mode here today. I would love for you to join me. It's only going to cost you $3 whole. If you're a patron, you will already have gotten the notification from in your email and over on Discord and on Facebook with the link to the unlisted Patreon only Velocidrone stream. So there we go. There's the zip tie again, just to further pull that TPU cradle down into the onto the UFL, and then we're gonna chop that, and away we go. Ah, come on. All right, sweet. Let's throw this top plate on. And in theory, I now have 2 working rigs, and that is fantastic. 3 is great, but 2 is okay too. I really love having 3 when I when I go out to fly, just so that like there's absolutely no need to repair anything in the field. Repairs are so much quicker and easier here, and these rigs aren't really that expensive, right? Like you can build a perfectly viable rig for $300. So the amount of time saved by having 3 identical rigs, so that when you go out and fly, if you break something, you're not spending like an hour repairing the damn thing with like janky tools in the field. You just throw it in the back of the car, grab one of the other ones, and go. Is really worth it, in my opinion. If I'd heard myself saying that 3.5 years ago, I would think that I'm kind of crazy. So all of you that think I'm nuts in saying that, you're totally justified. I remember having that thought back when I was unemployed in this hobby. But yeah, I mean, over time, over years, you know, you buy an ESC every month, you buy a couple motors when you can, and you end up stacking up enough parts where you can do this. And if you're looking to be a better pilot, this is how you do it. Build completely identical rigs, build 2 or 3 of them, and yeah, don't repair stuff out in the field. Just throw the broken rig in the back, grab one of the other ones, and then take care of your repairs at home where you have the right tools. Let me give you guys the satisfaction of seeing this with a couple propellers on it, and then we are going to chop this stream. These props are kind of banged up, but they're going to be alright. Maybe. Hopefully. Alright. And there. And I put the right propellers on this time. So hopefully, on this rig, I'm pretty sure that this rig is now good to go because that antenna was just totally cooked. That was pretty obvious. There is a chance that that the VTX was the issue on this rig, but I highly, highly, highly doubt it. Like, that would be kind of nuts. The other rig is the one that I'm more curious about, whether or not the antenna had come unplugged, because I really don't have that happen all that often. So, but I'm good. I'll have this one for sure, which will be good to go. So, thanks for joining. This has been your daily public live stream. If you'd like 2 to 3 times as much content from me, you got to give me $3 every month. That's 10 cents a day. You can do it. James Walton says another 5 because you rock, and that was awesome advice on the noise. But you didn't answer my other question, brother. Oh, sorry, James. The VY. The Brother Hobby VY motors have titanium shafts, which are stronger, and they're lighter. Yes, props out, Orga. And they're not that much more money. And on a Cinewhoop, you're not going to really break motors, so you might as well spend another couple bucks and get a lighter weight motor that's going to perform better. So yeah, VY for sure over the Avenger. Great question. Thanks for the support, James. Very, very cool of you. I'll see you patrons in a minute. I'm going to shut this stream off. It's going to take a couple minutes, but I'll get that other stream started. We'll hop into Velocidrone and shoot each other in the face. See you guys in a minute. Here's some random flying. Well, here's the end of that battery with some copyright-free Epidemic Sounds music over it. See you patrons in a minute. Non-patrons, join. If you don't join, I'll see you tomorrow. Come on.